Hello, Shot here. Today we're going to talk about how to anchor a lightweight vase at a grave site. Today's the first anniversary of the day we had to take our son off a ventilator, and we're going out to his grave site today. My wife went out and bought a vase, a very lightweight plastic vase, to put some artificial flowers in. Problem is that when you go out to grave sites and you put something like this, if it's nice, it may not be there when you go back, or it might be ruined by the caretakers accidentally, but it can happen. So we don't really put a lot of valuable things out to his grave site. So this we have to have anchored in the ground because of the likelihood of it blowing away. It's very windy outside. It has been all winter and spring, and it normally will get windy around here. So what I did was I got out in the backyard. We had some old railroad ties, and they were anchored with some rebar. And we're not using them anymore, so I grabbed a piece of rebar out of one and sharpened the end. I tied off these flowers, and I drilled a hole in the bottom of the vase. Now what I used to drill the hole was one of these step drill bits. And I drilled it to be about 9/16 so the half-inch rebar could easily go in and out of the hole. Now last night I was thinking about this, and I thought, well, I cut this yesterday, and I thought if I would have just heated this up over a stove or maybe a torch, probably melting would have been a better approach because it doesn't risk the chipping of the plastic base. Now, once this is installed, kind of unsightly, and the idea will be to go get some black dirt and fill it up to probably around here, and that'll give a more natural look to it and cover up all the wires and rebar and everything else. Now, to get this thing pounded into the ground with the rebar down here, I got some half-inch conduit, got a piece of rebar about the same length as this one, and I'll be putting that down on top of this piece of rebar, pounded it in place, pull it back out, see how it looks. Hopefully everything will be fine, and we'll see how it looks. Well, it turns out we didn't need to hammer the rebar into the ground. The ground is very soft, but still the little device helped us get down into the vase, so it worked out okay in the long run. This is a dark green memorial, and here's a picture of Ryan. I don't know if you'll be able to read the statement or not. Right now I have a lot of sun reflecting and I can't really see what this phone is picking up. But I'll try to put this in the comments area. It's interesting, the land that we're on was actually allotted to my mother's ancestors back in the 1850s. They homesteaded this area. The papers we have at home show that they were signed by Presidents Pierce and Buchanan, actually back in the 1850s. Ryan has a kind of a combination of pedigrees. This land was settled by people from Germany and Ireland, and they met and got married. So it's reflected on this side of the memorial from my side of the family. On his mother's side of the family, this land was part of their heritage for several thousand years. And that's indicated here by the dream catcher. So we have several thousand years, or from one side, or from my side about 160. One of the things that's kind of disappointing to see is over here, I kind of briefly looked at it earlier, is the encroachment. A lot of this black fertile soil able to feed families for centuries, for thousands of years, is now being covered over by asphalt in basements, in sidewalks, This is turned into a bedroom community that once was farmland when I was a kid, but now it's not. This one lonely little farm here is actually in the center of this town. It used to be on a day's trip from where I live now, but now it's just a matter of 20, 30 minutes. On the back side of the memorial, we have a plaque. I wanted to be sure to include that. People understand why somebody who's at the age of 30 is buried out here. At the top of the plaque, you'll see the Asian symbol for courage. And at the bottom of the plaque is a medallion from the donor network. Ryan was a donor, and now his DNA is living on, even though he's not physically with us anymore. Ryan's monument is next to his paternal grandparents. As I said, my mother and her family had farmed this land many years ago, and now they are buried at this land, along with a lot of family members from her side of the family. This is mostly a family cemetery where we are right now. It's sort of large. There's another family cemetery about 5 miles down the road, somewhat smaller than this one. The project is a success. It worked just as I hoped it would, even better with the soil being soft. And that should do it for now, so I will talk to you later. Shot out.